software system. All I know is let the bunny make you money. That's your slogan.
You like that.
I do like that. Mark, thanks for being on the show, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us, what is Jackrabbit Technologies? What is it you actually do?
Well, we are called a software as a service company. And so we have a web-based class management system that serves niche markets like dance studios, gymnastics gyms, swim schools, cheer gyms, and child care centers.
So I went to your website, and you call it niche, but I'm kind of thinking, man, there's a lot of applications for this. This could go in a whole lot of different directions.
Yes. Well, we started out in the gymnastics business because that's my background. I was a gymnast at Georgia and a MIS major, so I combine my two passions, living my dream. And then all of a sudden the dance studios started picking it up because it's really geared toward any business that's delivering classes on a weekly basis. So it can be really any type of youth activity or adult activities too. Most of ours are youth activities. So we have all kinds of crazy schools. They don't have to be sports. We have handwriting schools, language schools, just all kinds.
Right. I could see some national organizations that certainly need your service to plug in with their franchises and licensing programs and that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. Are you in that area or field?
We are in some franchises. We've got a franchise swim school franchise, British Swim School. A lot of swim schools there. They're national. Abracadoodle is a art school. Since a lot of the schools pull their art program, they're an art school, and then we're actually in 25 countries now.
Wow.
Yep.
So Mark, I think you're a classic entrepreneur. So you were in software sales, starting out, and you have this gym, and you don't have what you need, or you don't feel like you have what you need. So you go out and you create it. And
right.
then, but tell us about that process. Here you are, you had a job, I'm assuming, you're making some good money, you have a gym, and you come up with an idea, and then all of a sudden, what happened?
Well, I love the software business and love to build things and make people happy. And the gym that we had, that my brother and I owned, really needed some software. We needed something where what really came around, and this was in the 2000s, the early 2000s, is that parents began demanding to register their kids online for classes. They didn't want to have to fill out a piece of paper, and they didn't want to write a check. So that was a big demand that we saw coming. And at that point, my business partner and I, Mike Harper, designed and built this system, and then we were early to market. In 2004 is when we had the idea. 2005 is when we took it to market. We were early. There were still a lot of small business owners that didn't want to be dependent on the web, and they certainly didn't want parents putting their kids in classes without them having some control over which classes to register for. But the demand from the parents was building. 2006, 2007, and 2008 is when Mike and I quit our real jobs.
Wow.
Yeah. We did this 4 years.
Talk about that process. When did just mentally making that change, going from a salary, or you're probably on commission and bonus, to maybe no salary.
Right.
Yeah, right. A check to no check.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is when we started out in 2005, we could see it building, but it wasn't there yet. But it was trending in the right direction. And then by 2007, 2008, that's when the economy, right when it was beginning to turn, the acceleration and the number of new schools we were adding per month was just accelerating. So at that point, it was really Mike and my passion that we loved doing it. We were doing it from 5 o'clock to midnight every night, and we're like, this is what we want to do, and of course all weekend. So it was there. We took about a 50% pay cut that first year to do it, but it's been awesome.
And Mark, that's interesting because just earlier we were talking about the future jobs, and that they're related to what people want to do for their kids. And you're telling us today that during the depths of the recession, the Great Recession, that people were still signing their kids up for various swim lessons, ballet lessons, recitals. They were still putting money into their kids.
That's right. And that's what our schools, the customers we serve, the schools enjoy, is that, during a recession, you may pass on buying a new car or maybe buying a new house, but you're going to keep your kids in activity. So they didn't feel it, as much as a lot of the other industries did. And back then we were growing close to 100% a year at that time.
I'm curious. Can you describe the thought process you and your partner had when you started putting together this platform? Was it purely for your gym, or was it that you knew from the beginning you were on to something that you thought other people would want?
It was something I had actually, to go back a little bit, I came out of school, went to work for a small software company, and loved it. I thrived in that small company software business. And I wanted to do my own thing. And at that point in time, I decided to write a scorekeeping system for gymnastics meets. And I wrote that, and it did well. And then from there, a lot of the gyms said, hey, we really like your scorekeeping software. We'd like a piece of software that would help us run our business. So, Jackrabbit is their operational system. They run their entire business out of this system. Now, they still use QuickBooks for ledger and payables and that kind of thing, but billing, class management, all of that is out of Jackrabbit. Now, the story I'm talking about is this was back, I wrote this was a desktop system, but it wasn't a viable system back then because of the technical support. Trying to support businesses using a computer is tough, and it's tough to make money at it. So when Mike and I got together in 2004, the next venture, we're like, if we do something online, this will take away the tech support burden. The customers, they won't have the data, they won't have to manage the software or the technology, they just need a web connection. So it took off at that point. So what we've been able to do is deliver a tremendous amount of functionality for a very cheap price.
Now it's sort of a membership-driven, subscription-driven model. Is that how it works?
Yes. So they subscribe to it. If they have data in a system, we'll import the data for free. There's no setup cost. They pay per month. If they don't like it, they can cancel at any time.
Is it branded for their organization, or when they pop it up, they're going to see this bunny?
No, the parents are not going to see the bunny.
I thought you liked the bunny.
I like the bunny. I like the bunny.
Yeah, the bunny's very popular with the.
But if I got Joe's Gym, I kind of want Joe's Gym to be what pops up, not the bunny.
I want to know where the bunny came from.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah, great question. So when I had seen company names, I really liked some of the company names that had an animal. And because, it's visual, you can look at the logo and remember the name of the company. And I started, when we started looking at names, I'm like, okay, I want an animal name, something technology. So we started looking around, and there were not many names left back in 2004 at that time that you could, even get a website for. So we looked at a bunch of names. Aardvark was one of them.
Oh, that'd be too hard to spell.
That's exactly right.
Right, you got me there. Oh, man, the mayor just rang the bell on me.
So Aardvark, of course, was great because it was a double A, would be at the beginning of listings, but nobody could spell it. So Jackrabbit, we picked that because it was it didn't have any negative connotation to it. It was fun. And so we took it, and my sister, who's a graphic designer, we decided to make it a person rather than just an animal. And then it really took off, and then we did things with it when we got in the dance market. We're like, put the bunny in a tutu and go get the website Jackrabbit Dance, and let's see what we can do.